What's up? I should not be making a video right now. In fact, I don't know as I make this if I'm going to put it up or not. But I'm just sitting in front of the camera because I want to talk to somebody about the last 24 hours. I know I need a haircut. I was actually on my way today to go get my haircut. That didn't work out. So listen to me whine and complain for a few minutes, and then see if you agree with my conclusion or if you have some thoughts about it. I don't know. I got, oh, well, first of all, my videos are going to be out of order now if you're watching this because they are. There are reasons for that. Anyway, yesterday I got the Xbox One. It was shipped to me on release day. And I got the day one. I paid a bit extra so that I could, get the best blah, blah, blah. It came the day I left for the US, so it sat at my workplace or one of my workplaces until I got back. I went there, even though I didn't have to work yesterday, to get it and brought it back. And got it all plugged in, and the update at the beginning was going on. You were forced to do it, and then it stuck at 82%, so that sucked. And then I just turned it off, turned it back on, and it finished. So okay, cool. And then I don't even remember. Anyway, I played for a little bit. I played Forza 5, and I redeemed the codes for the free games, and then it said that my saved game were corrupt, or there was some problem with, I think it said there's a problem with your saved games, please erase them. And it takes a while to install the games, I don't know. Anyway, and it said please go to settings and erase them. And it gave me the option to push the settings button. So I pushed the settings button, and it tried to go to settings, but it just couldn't do it. And after like 5 minutes or something, it said, there seems to be a problem. So, go here, or whatever. I don't remember exactly. And then I tried to go there, and it just froze on whatever there was. So I turned it off. It's a computer, things are going to happen with it. I turned it off, and I turned it back on again. And I know I'm sweaty. I just got home. And it was raining too. All it does is just green screen. It starts up to the green screen, and it's just forever. Green screen, green screen. So I spent a long time reading forums and stuff, talking to people and trying to fix it myself, trying all the workarounds that I could to do it myself, because I don't want to deal with sending it in and whatever. Nothing worked. I talked with a dude, I guess, yeah, it was a dude on the Microsoft chat online help something. He seemed really cool, very helpful, and we went through all this stuff again just to be sure, and then he said, yeah, it's going to have to be sent in or whatever, and he said they were going to send me a new one before I even send this one out. And so he was going to have somebody call me last night, and then I said, it's midnight, so can you have him call me tomorrow between 8 and 10 Japan time? Because I was talking to a dude in the US, and I made it clear that I had a Japanese thing, Xbox, whatever. He said, oh yeah, cool, no problem, we'll definitely have him call you. Well, no one called. And I guess that's because it's Sunday here, but I told him that it's, Sunday and whatever. Anyway, so I waited from 8 to 10 for that stupid call to come. I was planning to go and do stuff, including getting my haircut, and yeah, so that kind of put a damper on my day to begin with, but yeah. So I took a bath, actually. It was nice, very relaxing. And then I was getting ready to go and get my haircut, and I'm trying to remember. Yeah, some other stuff happened, but it's more kind of relational with people. So I don't like to talk about that kind of stuff, but anyway, so I went, and I had my raincoat in my hand and just a really small bag. And my phone, I was listening to some music, and kind of out of sorts. And it might be jet lag, because we did just get back. I don't know what it is, but just trying to kind of, yeah, not be out of sorts. So I get to the bus stop, and I sit down. I'm just sort of, okay, let's go get my hair cut, go to church, go to Hardolph, do whatever, just, yeah. And so the bus comes, I grab my stuff, get on the bus. It arrives at the train station. As I'm getting off the bus, I realize I don't have my bag. Like, okay, that's weird. And I look around the seat, and I don't see it anywhere. So I've got my raincoat and my phone. So what had happened, I guess, is I had my raincoat and I felt like I had everything, but I just left my bag sitting on the bench at the bus stop. So I, as quickly as possible, well, first I got back on the bus again to make sure, you know, and the bus driver somehow, like, didn't recognize, like, how do you not recognize me? This is Japan. I just got off your bus. And I just walked around, looked around, didn't see it, so I got off, and he's like, hey, you need to pay. And it's hard not to feel patronized when people speak in bad English to me because I speak Japanese, but of course, probably they're trying to just communicate, and, you know, it's hard for foreigners, I think, in Japan often who do speak Japanese because it's just like, okay, I speak Japanese. Stop speaking in really broken English to me. You know, and at first it's okay, but then when you speak Japanese back to them and they're just like, oh, money, money, money. Okay, say it again. Say money, money one more time. So I explained to him at length as he continuously interrupted me, in Japanese, by the way, I was speaking Japanese, that I had just ridden the bus. And I had, in fact, run my card over the sensor twice to reduce take funds from my account on my little beep card. He just kept interrupting me, like he wouldn't listen. And then finally he got it. He's like, oh, you were just on. That's what I just said. Okay. And so then as I walked away, I'm just like trying to stay cool because I've just lost my bag. In my bag is my wallet with my permanent visa, my driver's license, where I just got with my motorcycle license and everything, blah, blah, blah. 5 credit cards and debit cards. $100. The key to my house, which is like an electronic thing that the door basically opens when you walk up to it. Of course, my address is on it. Like, I'm an idiot. You know, it's got some other stuff in there. I don't remember. So I'm not in a good mood already, and I'm wanting to get back to the other bus stop so I can see if it's still there. Now, in Japan, people are usually really good about turning stuff in if they find it. Yeah. So I just looked on the bus one more time because it's kind of dark, but I don't want to hold him up. He's like, oh, you were looking for something that you lost. Yeah. Anyway, so I kind of ran to the taxi stand and waited for a taxi. I was third in line. Finally, it comes and I said, could you please get me to this bus stop? And I said the name of it. It's a small town. As fast as you can. I think I left my bag there. And he said, where is that? Okay, it's that way. Could you just go that way and I'll explain it to you as we go? Can we go? He's like, is that near such and such? And I said, yes, it's there. Can we go, please? You know, and I wasn't pushy, but I was just like, okay, can we move and not just like sit here and do-ba-doo? And it took, and he said, oh, and you'd like to get there as fast as possible. Yes, please. So he just pulls out, you know, and he's not like old or anything. He just, I don't know. Some people have a different idea of what as quickly as possible means, I guess. We hit every red light. He did almost kind of hit some people trying to cross the street, though, so I guess I should give him credit for that. Anyway, we finally get there, and I'm just so, like I said, out of sorts. I'm not with it at all. I almost got out without paying him, because I did have money, kind of my emergency backup money with me in my secret emergency backup money place. So I paid him, and my bag wasn't there. So now I'm still thinking someone's going to turn it in. This is Japan. I'm going to be all right. I'm praying, you know. But I should take precautions. So I call the bus company and explain to them what's happened. And the guy's like, well, do you know what time your bus departed? Well, no, I don't remember what time because I just grabbed whatever bus, but I could tell you approximately. In fact, I can tell you exactly what time the bus arrived and at which bus stop, so then you'll know which bus it is. I says, oh, no, we can't do that. Wait, what do you mean you can't do that? You have a bus schedule. I can tell you exactly when it arrived and at which bus stop. No, we aren't able to do that. If you can't tell me exactly what time it left, then I can't help. Okay, wait, just hold on. So, can you tell me generally how long it takes from this bus stop to this bus stop? Because they have all that stuff written down, how long it's supposed to take, everything. If you can tell me that, I can give you the time. He's like, oh, I'm sorry, we can't do that. If you don't know the exact time it left, I can't do it. So he didn't even try to help me. He's just like, blah, blah, blah. So I wasn't impressed. And he wasn't impressed either with my not being impressed. So he just said, well, we'll call you if something comes, and if not, we won't call you. And he just kept saying that. I was like, okay, thank you very much. He said, you should call the police also. So I did. Well, I went to the little police box, Of course, there's no one there. So I use the phone. Like, what's the point? It's just like a little neighborhood police box, you know? So you can go and be like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And I just went there, and I just used their phone because there's no one there. Granted, it is a Sunday, so that might have something to do with it. So I called, and I told them what was going on, and they said, okay, we'll call you if we find it, and if we don't, we won't. There you go. So then I'm like, crap. And he's like, make sure you cancel all your credit cards. And then it dawns on me, well, like I said before, my key to my house is in there. Like, literally, you walk up to my house, and the door opens because of this key, essentially. So I'm now going to have to cancel all my credit cards and debit cards and get a new insurance card, get a new ID. Well, just a million things now I have to do. At the same time, I'm glad I didn't lose my phone, even though I just lost my phone like 5 weeks ago. I just feel so stupid right now. Anyway, so I just go home instead of going to get my hair cut, even though there's really not much I can do at this point except make phone calls. I call my bank, and my bank is notorious for just being stupid. Like, anytime I need money, they can't give it to me. I can't even begin to name all the problems. Everything that could go wrong goes wrong with my bank. It's a U.S. bank, and I don't recommend it. The only reason I keep them is because I've got the credit card and the debit cards. I've been with them 8 years, and it's just easier, but man, they suck. Like, I totally do not recommend them. I'm going on record here. Don't use U.S. Bank if you can avoid it. I don't know if other ones are better, but U.S. Bank sucks. Some of the people who work there are pretty cool, but they don't know what they're talking about half the time. The training and the quality control, they're not on the same page, and they're not telling you the same story, so you're... Anywho. So, talked to a really nice lady. Her name was Brandy. And I explained the situation. I said, I'm pretty sure that someone's going to turn in my bag, like, within minutes of the time I get off the phone. But if I have, maybe it's just better just to cancel the cards. The thing is, I'm in Japan, and then she's like, well, since you just changed your billing address, which I did in the U.S., we can't actually issue you another card. So you can call your local branch and hope that they will override that, but I can't promise you that. Do you still want to cancel the card? I'm like, well, what do you think? Shouldn't I do it? Isn't that the safest way to go? Identity theft and blah, blah, blah. She said, yeah. Then she canceled it, even though I actually wasn't like 100% there. I wasn't like, okay, do it. And she's just like, well, I just canceled. Oh, okay, well, I guess we're doing that then. Okay, so that's done. So I said thank you and hung up. I wasn't happy, but what can you do? It's my own fault. I'm mad at myself at this point. Very much mad at myself and just ashamed, embarrassed. And I'm thirsty. Then I call one of my Japanese credit card companies, literally 1 minute after being off the phone. My lips are red. And I get the phone call from the bus company. And they said they've got it, and everything's there. Like 2 minutes earlier, if they'd called me, saves the day, no problem. So, happy. I don't have to change the lock on our door. There's no danger or whatever. Somebody, using the key to get in here. I don't have to worry about my Japanese bank accounts or credit card or, credit cards. There's the money in my wallet and, all this stuff is good. So, this is happy news. It's a minor inconvenience that I no longer can do anything. I have no access to my money in the U.S. Yes, I was planning on making a significant withdrawal in the next couple days. And that's kind of an important thing, but I can deal with it. I can get around it, But I'm just so upset and I'm so embarrassed and just, But I just thought, I'll call the bank again just in case, the 24-hour line, just in case there's some chance that they can, because it's so right now, reactivate the cards. And the lady was like, no, I'm sorry, we cannot do that. But for your reference, just so you know, this is a different lady. She says, next time if this ever happens again, of course, try to avoid that. But if it should ever happen again, I would like you to be aware that you could put your card on a temporary, or your account on a temporary suspension if you think there's a good chance you might find it. And then I just lost internally, I lost it. I just tried to keep my composure while I kick the juice, magnetized by the mic. Wait, how does that work? Keep my composure when it's time to get loose, magnetized by the mic while I kick the juice. If there was a problem U.S. Bank didn't solve it, check out the hook while I punch you out! Mama said knock you out! So I said, really? So you're telling me I could have just put it on suspension temporarily, because that's exactly what I said I needed to do. And Brandy, bless her heart, did not give me that option. I am not happy. And she said, yeah, I only just found out about it a few days ago myself. And I'm like, okay, this is your job. And I'm not mad at her or Brandy even. It's just like the training is obviously, there's something wrong here. I'm getting two different stories. And if I had put it on the suspension thing, it saves everything. Everything's sweet. So I hang up the phone and I'm just like livid, actually. Mostly at myself, but also at the fact that like that whole thing could have been avoided. And I'm beside myself. I just want to punch something. I want to break something. My wife's just watching me like this, you know. I'm apologizing to her for being angry and for being stupid. And all the while, I'm just like, I really, really want to punch something. I have a problem. I've never actually punched a person in my life on purpose. But I punch things when I get really mad. I punched an elevator. And then I punched a ceiling. I think I have a bit of an anger problem. It's the 5 seconds of fury. But this is way longer. Anyway, I just need to vent a little bit. So I call US Bank again. And I try to keep my cool. And I talk to another person. And I'm like, go through the steps to get on the thing. And just say, I would like to talk to a manager, somebody in quality control, because I'd like to make a complaint. I'm sure you're a great guy and you do your job well. It's nothing personal. I just need to talk to somebody in management. And he's like, well, could you explain to me what happened? And so I have to go through the whole story again. And then I'm trying to call and tell her something, right? And just, if anything, I want something good to come from this. First of all, I want to be able to vent a little. I'm not going to yell at anyone, you know, but hopefully. But also, maybe someone else will not have to go through what I just am going through, you know, because of this sort of discrepancy in training or whatever. So he says, well, would you like me to get a manager on the phone to explain to you further? Stop! I'm not calling to be explained to. I'm the one who wants to explain to you! And I may have raised my voice just slightly, ever so slightly. And he's just kind of quiet. And he's like, would you like to talk to her? I said, yes, please. So she gets on the phone, and I've had, 15 or 20 seconds to cool down a bit. She says, I'm sorry to keep you waiting. And I said, it's probably better that I did, because I needed to cool down a little bit. And I just very calmly explained the situation. And she said, well, actually, the second customer service rep you talked to was wrong, and if the first one had done what she recommended, she would have lost her job, because our policy is to cancel any cards that may be lost or stolen. Okay, so at that point, I'm just like, okay, fine. So that makes me feel a little better, but at the same time, y'all need to get your story straight. And so it would be nice if the people I'm talking to on the phone knew what they're talking about. She says, yes, I agree. So that was that. But then I thought about it some more. I hung up. I thought about it some more. There is a thing. They do have a thing where they can temporarily suspend a card. They did it to me, because I mistakenly made a deposit by taking a picture and, using the app, but my IP was in Japan, and that technically makes them function as an international bank, and they don't want to be an international bank, blah, blah, blah. But then they wouldn't tell me why they suspended my account or what I could do. They said they're going to cancel it, all this stuff. I talked to people at the local branch, like, sorry, nothing we can do. Finally, I found a number to some dude, and he's like, oh, that's dumb. They can totally reverse that. This is what happened. Just promise not to do it again. You're fine. I realized you didn't know it was just one thing after another. I don't know, enough about US Bank. So all that stuff happened. But it could have been so much worse. When you look, like, Microsoft is going to replace my Xbox One. Big deal. I have so many games. It doesn't matter. So what if I spent $200 on other games and an extra controller? It doesn't matter. It does not matter. I don't even have time to play games anyway. So it could take a month before they get my new one. Whatever. But it's just, frustrating because it's my time. And, new stuff is supposed to work. But these things happen. Okay, so I'm trying to take it in stride. And then the whole thing with the leaving my bag, like, mainly I just felt so freaking stupid. And I was. That was a stupid thing to do. But I'm just now upset with myself and disappointed in myself because I got so... I mean, I didn't really do anything. I didn't lash out or act out in my anger, but my anger was there. I mean, it was present, and I was kind of a ticking time bomb there. I might be a little bit now still, but I really was for a good half an hour or so, even after stuff was basically resolved. I wanted to just break something. And the thing is, it was so difficult for me to reason myself into focusing on the positive, you know, accentuating the positive and eliminating the negative, right? I don't have to replace the locks on my door. I have access to all my Japanese stuff. Everything's cool. I got everything back. I just have to hopefully everything will work out and I can get my bank cards and stuff all settled within the next 2 weeks. But no, I just had an overall feeling of pissed off. And it was largely out of my control. So I have an anger problem, I think. And I guess what I want to know is, if I ever put this up, I don't know. Do you have an anger problem? Do you have an angry story to tell? Do you have some good advice for me for how to... Besides, you know, I mean, honestly, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be the guy who is fine 1 minute and the next minute just ready to rip something up. And I think I might be kind of that guy. I don't want to go postal. And that's not really something you should even joke about because it's horrible. But I mean, I don't want to get, you know, I don't want to damage relationships because of my inability to, or opportunities for that matter, because of my inability to adequately control my feelings of anger. So, I don't know, you know, if you knew this about me, but I have a bit of a ball of rage thing. Not always, but sometimes. Yeah. It wouldn't be hard to explain why, I'm sure. There's a lot of stuff you don't know about me. But, yeah, that was like way tangent-y. Bye. Another thing that I don't know how analogous or relevant this really is, but I often think about this. And, well, I recently lost someone close to me. I lost my dad in February. Actually, just today I was going through some of my phone stuff, and I found a message that he had left on the a voicemail, and it was just him saying, just calling to check in and see how you're doing. But it was... I listened to it more than once. Sorry. Anyway, you know, my dad lived a pretty good life, and he was, I think he was 66 maybe when he passed away, which is below the average or whatever, but still, we celebrated his life about a week ago. It was a week ago with friends, and we just got together and told stories, and he didn't want a funeral. And the thing is, he lived 66 years, right? That's more than a lot of people get to live, right? And I don't know what the world average lifespan is, but it's so much to be thankful for the things that he did for me. And, you know, if you focus on the positive, right, there's so much to be thankful for. And again, this is really sensitive, okay? But just hear me out. Like, if I were, I don't want to die, but if I were to die today, right, it's way too young. I'm 38. I just turned 38. But man, I have so much to be thankful for. And I would so much rather live 38 years and experience all I've experienced and know the people I've known, including some of you, than not at all, or only 37 or 35 or 30 or 20 or 10. But the reaction pretty much across the board, I think, our gut reaction is going to be, he was too young to die. Well, some people might say good riddance, fair enough, you know. But isn't that human nature? Like we always say, right, the grass is always greener on the other side, but it's really deeply in us. You have a situation where it's like yin and yang. You've got this good stuff and this bad stuff, and they're connected, right? And 9 times out of 10, if not 10 times out of 10, we're going to tend to focus on this. Well, he should have lived longer. He could have helped so many more people. He could have done so much more. He could have, whatever. But rarely do we actually, I mean, it occurs to us, but it doesn't make it here to our heart, where we just say, man, that's so great that he was here and he got 30 years, and we should be thankful for that. Really thankful. If you're thankful to God, you believe that there's a God or gods who created him, whatever, like, just anyway, thankful. To whom, I'll leave that up to you. I'm not trying to have a religious channel. But philosophically speaking, and psychologically as well, I guess, I think we humans have a real problem, right? Hubris. Nothing's ever good enough. Nothing's ever good enough. And, man, I just feel so immature. I think that I am, actually. I feel really ashamed of the way that I just have a lot of growing up to do. So, it's one thing to have knowledge in your head, but it's another thing to have wisdom and to actually have maturity. And I don't know. It basically doesn't help to get angry. But it did help at the time for me to scream really loud, and I really did want to hit something because it does release some of that stress, but I did push-ups. I actually went in the kitchen and did push-ups. Enough. I'm sorry for wasting your time, but something to think about, I guess, or not. I think I'm going to play some like Call of Duty or something now, put it on easy mode and just go kill a lot of people. Obviously, yeah, I don't know, maybe I'm just this way, or maybe it is jet lag, I don't know. But one of the things that I wanted to say, I didn't even say, and that is, like, okay, my situation. I lost access to some of my money in the US for a short time. But I do have some money, a little, right? A lot of people just don't, and it's not necessarily any fault of their own, or maybe it is, but I have it so much better than so many people. And again, not because of how great I am, it's just that's how stuff works out. Maybe sometimes I did something good, maybe sometimes I screwed up and it doesn't matter. The point is, holy moly, I am rich beyond the wildest dreams of a very high percentage of the people in the world. And yet, the easy thing is to compare myself to the guy across the street who has a Porsche, an Audi, and a Ferrari. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, again, never good enough. But so much of it is about how we measure ourselves. Who do we compare ourselves to? To whom do we compare ourselves? And just thinking out, like we say, first world problems. Like, I got that Weird Al Yankovic album. It's right up there. I don't like it. Like, I don't think it's very good at all. But it does have some good fuel for thought, let's say. And I like Weird Al Yankovic a lot. I don't know. Maybe I'm too old for it. I can't get into it like I used to. Or maybe it's just not that good. Or maybe I don't know any of the songs that he's parodying in the first place, so they're not funny to me. Probably that's it. What was I talking about? If you think your life sucks, go help people. Like, go volunteer at a homeless shelter, or go give blankets to people, and just, I mean, honestly, this is one of the things when I was, how old was I? Maybe 19 or somewhere around there. 20? Yeah. I remember. Somewhere around that time. I got really depressed. I never thought about suicide, but I did want to die. There's a difference. Like, wanting to kill yourself and wanting to die are very different things. I was done. I just didn't want to live anymore. And I couldn't tell you why, and that made it worse. At the time, I honestly could not tell you why. And then as it continued, like, I would go through the week and I would be super low, and then over the course of the week, I would kind of go like this and start to feel like maybe I'm okay, I'm going to break through this, and it was just a stage, And then I would just not break down, but just like start crying for no reason. Like, okay, what is wrong with me, And it's embarrassing. It's humiliating. And at least it was for me. Maybe it doesn't need to be, but it was for me at the time, or that's how I chose to interpret it. And I just got sick of it. I mean, over and over, and I just was like, this is just this never-ending cycle. And the worst part about it is not even feeling sad and hopeless and helpless. And I was a straight-A student, and I was like inspired. This is really stupid, right? And I knew that. I was like, I am so lucky. There are so many reasons why I should not be feeling this way, but I am. And that just makes it, kind of worse. I just wanted to be done, you know? And I read a book, really cheesy book called How to Get Up When You're Down. And if I ever find that book again, I'm going to buy it and make copies of it because it was just cheesy and corny. Great advice. And some of the things I remember, well, the main thing actually that I remember from that book is just get over yourself and stop thinking about yourself and start thinking about other people. Go and help people who are actually suffering and see them and be with them and realize that, I mean, you will realize that, man, you are just so lucky. And it's just this thing. I think Augustine said something about the heart turned inward upon itself. I forget what the rest of it is, but I don't know what's going on, but I guess today was a bit of a wake-up call for me. I need to find a way to do some volunteering, and I don't know. I'll just take this opportunity to say that Evo Haler was one of the winners in my giveaway a long time ago, and he's like, you know what? Don't send me anything. Just go give some money to somebody on the street or whatever. And I've done that a few times, but never in the name of Evo Haler. So I still need to do that. But I don't know. I'm just taking a step back from the whole, hey, let's collect lots of video games. And look, it's great. We have to have a hobby. We have to do something to kind of, I don't know. It doesn't matter. Of course it doesn't matter. So little of what we do on this planet matters. But if I leave all these video games to my kids, that's going to be something they have to remember me by, right? And I just, things like that. My dad left me a Harley. I can't ride it because I live in Japan. So I'm selling it to my cousin because I love my cousin. And my cousin really wants a trike. It's a Harley trike. And if I sell it to him, it stays in the family. I'm giving him a good deal on it. Plus, when I go back home, I can still ride it. So I feel like I'm kind of having my cake and eating it too a little bit. Things like that. I don't know where that came from, but I've made friends through this, This is an unbelievable tangent upon tangent mountain. It's Tangent Mountain. It's not Sugar Mountain or whatever. I'm thinking of Neil Young now. Is it Sugar Mountain? Tangent Mountain. I don't know. I'm lost. Or am I? My glass is empty. No, it's not empty. It's waiting to be filled. I'm sorry if you endured all of this, or thank you, depending on your reaction. I don't know, but thank you, and I'm sorry. Bye-bye.